Welcome back to the long-awaited return of the Scion XB lift project. It's still on the ground. We're about to do some stuff to it. The goal is eventually to cut some of this off. You've seen the prior videos, you know how bad it was mushed. I managed to get it pushed back out. I want to try to get it as straight as possible. Even got a door on it, and that door even opens and closes. But this was the most amazing thing. You can see the other things. We got the hatch on it, and it's not just sitting there either. It actually opens and closes fine too. Obviously, this is the problem, but all this is going to go away eventually. We haven't decided exactly what we're going to do, but the door opens and closes as well. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the front, and that entails just swapping the struts. I got two new ones in the box here from a RAV4. So we're going to take these off. We're going to put those in my black car, because as horrible as this car looks, it actually just has a bunch of junk parts on it. It's only has a little under 80,000 miles on it. So we're going to put some space in between there, between that wheel well and that. So let's get busy. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the audio. I guess you just saw that fan. All the audio was ruined for this segment and a couple of the others. I'm sorry about that. Basically, what I'm telling you here is that the changing the struts here, this is no different than any other strut swap, other than make sure you have both wheels off of the ground before you try to put the sway bar link that you just saw there back on. Otherwise, you will play hell. I'll talk about that later in the video, so just hang in there. But like I said, nothing other than just a standard strut swap. So you have let's just drop that anywhere. 3 bolts up under here, and you can take this off. You got to take the windshield wipers off, and it just kind of snaps out of there. But I believe I can get to them without that. In the previous clip, also mentioned there is a anti-lock brake thing you have to take out. Requires 10 millimeters. Don't miss that. Okay, I did wind up taking that off. It just made it significantly easier. So I recommend taking it off. It's like 10 or 12 10 millimeter bolts. But I'm not even really sure what the heck I'm talking about here. Looks like the front's already done, and we've got to do the back. Now, I didn't do a video for the back on that, but I'm going to leave a link in the description. There's one in here for the same kit, and it's for Generation 1, and there's absolutely no difference in it. It is done exactly the same way, so there's no need to do that. And here, I'm just kind of describing here. I'm sorry, the video is sideways. Just a terrible job on this. You jack it up by the axle, and then up around the right in front of the springs there's a place on the body where you can set the car. And if you take the springs, if you take the shocks loose before you do this, once you let the axle back down off of the jack, those will fall through the body and the springs will fall out. So make sure you pay attention to the orientation. Mine had some paint marks on them. But that's really all you've got to do. As you see there, I'm taking it off, and when you drop this, the spring, see, if you look at mine have little paint marks on them. If I quit jerking all over the freaking place, you could see them. But anyway, it's not an involved process, and I'll leave a link to that particular video. But anyway, let's get on and see what the lift actually looks like. What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while since I've talked about this car. As you can see, the lift is done. We've got these hand-cut Dynapro AT2s on it. Probably the last time that y'all saw this car, still didn't have a hatch on it. I managed to push the roof out and actually get it to close. It opens and closes. It's not perfect. It's still leaning a little bit, and of course you can see daylight in between there. But remember, all this is going to eventually be cut off. But there she is. I've got some video I'll attach to this too that I did on it. The tires fit perfectly fine. The plastic wheel wells are already missing on the car, so I just don't have to worry about that. They did scrub a little bit right there, and you can see I bent the fender, and I'm going to take this piece off so you won't even see that. We'll make it actually look a little bit higher too. And everything fit good, no scrubbing. The problems that you're always going to run into when you lift one of these is the shocks are too short and they bottom out. And there's a fellow that makes some extenders. I've got an idea, and I'm going to share that with y'all if it works. On the front, you have both the front wheels off the ground, both the tires off. You can get the sway bar bushings to line up, but it really is pushing it too far down and it bottoms out too. So I'm going to get some adjustable sway bar links for that, or some people say you don't even need the sway bar at all. But there's some toe differences too since this has been done. I've got to take it in alignment, but it shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, that's a little update on the car itself. Walk over here and show you what else we're going to do. We got some, we're going to kind of make an off-road Mad Max kind of thing out of this. And over here for the front, I just walked all over here. Where my junk's at here. I've got a couple of bumpers, bumper guards. Well, this I'm not going to use. This came off a Ranger. It's just going to be too hard to adapt. But take a look at this. This came off of a Hummer H3, and it's the right width, and everything will, even the mounts almost line up. I've got a friend that's going to fabricate some stuff for me, but that's pretty much where we're at on it. And I'll kind of show you the little videos of what I did. If you've ever changed a strut, it's literally that simple on the front. It's nothing unusual. You can watch any video about replacing a strut, except for what I told you guys about the sway bar links. But on the rear, what you'll do is you'll jack the car up. I jacked it up by the axle, rear axle, and then I set it up on the body, the actual mounts, so that the car, the springs and everything are loose. Loosen the shocks first before you do any of that. So when you lift the car up, I believe it or not, as soon as the car sits on the stands, the rear axle will drop and the springs will fall out. Just pay attention to how your springs are oriented and all that. And I can explain to you guys how to put the lift kit in. It's really just a spacer. It's super simple. And you'll need a spring compressor to squish the spring back down on the car there. So in order to do that, I would recommend not using one from Harbor Freight. Go to your local parts store and borrow one, and that's the safe way to do it. If you've got Air Tools or battery operated impact, that'll really help you there, but you can do it by hand. It's just exhausting. But anyway, I'll throw in the little videos after this that I did, haphazardly did, and hopefully that'll help. Also, now that my wife's home, you can see the clear difference between the height between the two cars. Much higher. Total lift was about 3.5 inches, maybe a little more than that with the tires. Back lift is 2 inches. The front lift is about 2 3/4 plus the tires. So you notice it's a real even look to it, and you probably can't really see it here versus the stock look, which is kind of raked in the back. You don't have that with this. It's very linear, very straight. Well, thank y'all for watching. There's going to be a lot more going on with this car in the coming weeks. I've got a fabricator, and as I showed you the bumper and all that, we're going to add that to the front. The plan is to do some quad headlights from an old Toyota car that I used to have, along with probably some smaller fog lights, maybe a little winch, something like that. And it's still kind of up in the air exactly what we're going to do about the back of the car, whether that's going to just cut it off and leave it open air, do a little flatbed out of it. We're not really sure. But at this point, I think what we're going to try to do is to replicate the back section of that car. So where the rear doors start, cutting it right there, and then having a roll bar section, kind of like a Jeep, that's going to fill that in. So that's where we're going to go. And this is going to be a long process because I've got to pay for a little bit at a time. But y'all stay tuned and check it out, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.